So on the causeless crime, as Danielle said, I mean, yes, you can't compare voter ID to bank, or Tana said, you can't compare voter ID fraud to bank robbery. That is completely two different things. That's like saying if I make an illegal U-turn, I need to go to jail for 10 years. That's just, bank robbery, I mean, it doesn't take much to do voter ID fraud, and that's the problem. We need to come up with more sensible solutions for this. We can't just start throwing out laws. This state already has, or this country already has enough laws. We don't need to throw in more laws. That's has a process that's been working for hundreds of years now. Why would we need to change that now? We need to think of different ways to approach this. And then the mobile ID, or the disenfranchisement, yeah, it does disenfranchise voters. Many elderly voters simply do not have their driver's license. You know, it gets taken away from them. I mean, they're too old, they don't need to be driving, they don't have a driver's license. And those are the majority of our voters. Now, like literally, I think it's like 67% of our voters are elderly. And if they lack an ID, how are they going to go down? How are they going to drive and get to anywhere? I mean, yes, there is a mobile, but one mobile DMV, how is that going to supply a whole state? And we have a country of 50 states. How is one mobile DMV going to help that? That's insensible. And where's this money coming from? Like, yeah, we can say this, we could just throw out millions and millions of dollars to do this, but where that money has to come from somewhere. You don't just get a free ID, it's going to come out of the taxpayers' pockets. And you don't see that until you have to pay your taxes at the end of the year. And Missouri estimates that the IDs would cost the single state of Missouri over $20 million to implement over the next 3 years. That's on top of what we're already paying right now. So that's, I mean, $20 million is a lot of money just to spend on some IDs. I mean, yes, like you could say that you would need a photo ID to get onto a plane, right? Well, you don't. The argument that you need to get a photo ID on a plane, but you don't. The TSA requests ID, but if you don't have any, you can go through extra security. So it would be harder to vote than it would to be to get on a plane. I mean, I don't know. There is always loopholes, but with this system, it's just if you don't have an ID, you can't vote. And in the 2008 general election, 4 to 5 million voters did not participate because they encountered problems with their voter registration or failed to receive absentee ballots. Now that's a lot of people. That can cause a significant change. It's more than just this 31. And 31 cases, that's not very many. Yes, it's a crime and it should be stopped, but we're talking about billions of people. We're not, I mean, 31 to a billion, that's like, that's insignificant. And so in 2011, the Republicans, this is actually Republicans' plan to, okay, the whole problem with the voter ID is that in 2008, when Obama was elected, his vote was supposedly backed by the votes that did not count, the fraudulent votes. That was supposedly the only reason that Obama won. So when Republicans got a boost in 2011, they tried to start pushing for the voter ID to get rid of all the fraudulent votes. But, I mean, but it's like there's no reason to push for it if there's no really fraudulent votes. And for these 35 states, it's actually 35 states, that are trying to enact these voter IDs. That's some sort of voter ID. It's not identification. It's like your address, anything. But if they push it, they will collectively spend $276 million, and that's just an estimate. It can go way higher than that. So where's this money coming from? The system's doing just fine as it is. We need to come up with more sensible solutions. All right, thank you.